One of the hardest hitting heavyweights to ever step foot into the octagon, Francis Ngannou is a force to reckon with inside the cage. From his insane physique to incredible knockout power, he's truly a beast that no one wants to mess with. And when he learned to compose himself and improved his ground game, he was widely considered the scariest heavyweight in the MMA world. Join us in today's video to see legendary UFC fighters explaining why Francis Ngannou was better than everybody. Make sure to stay until the end to learn what our top 1 fighter has to say about Ngannou. Top 7. Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic is widely considered as the greatest heavyweight fighter in the UFC. He defended his title against legends and never allowed anyone to take that belt from him. Until he met Francis Ngannou, who took him out in the second round with a rock-solid left hook. Before Miocic was about to face him in their first bout, he was asked by Joe Rogan about what makes Francis exceptional, to which he replied, his power. Although Stipe was able to get the better of him during their first fight, Francis came prepared in their second fight. He was not throwing wild punches and he made sure that he waited and picked his shots. He landed a perfect left hook and won the heavyweight championship. Before the fight, the whole MMA world had Stipe on the top of the GOAT list in the heavyweight division. However, after this fight, his popularity took a huge dip. Top 6. Jon Jones. When he was asked in a podcast about fighting Francis Ngannou, Jon Jones said that he carries bombs in his hands. He has knocked the hell out of many great fighters. Talking about the possibilities about how the fight between them would go down, he explained, "He could break my jaw." With Francis Ngannou getting comfortable with the worst-case scenario, even Jon Jones knows how one mistake with Francis Ngannou can cost him the match. And he said he would be visualizing the worst outcome and try to make it as real as possible. Because the worst becomes normal, then he could be able to stand in front of a giant like Francis and do his best. Top 5. Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo had an incredible career. He is an Olympic champion and has a champ status. Talking about Francis Ngannou, he said, "You could not create a fight nor flurry with Francis Ngannou because if you do, he will put you to sleep. Because nobody on earth has a power like Francis Ngannou." Everyone has seen the power of Francis Ngannou and they know that he has taken beasts out in the octagon. Henry Cejudo further explained that if you are getting into the octagon to fight a long match against Francis Ngannou, that could be a problem because he just needs a little space and would easily take you down with a left or right bomb hook. Getting such praise from the Triple C is a big thing, since he is a very respected figure in the fighting world. That is the reason why fight fans actually like listening to his fight analysis. Top 4. Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes has faced Francis Ngannou twice in the octagon. In an interview, Blaydes spoke highly of Ngannou and his abilities as a fighter. Blaydes stated that Ngannou is more than just a power puncher and that he has good footwork, movement, and wrestling skills. He mentioned that Ngannou's striking ability is obviously his biggest weapon, but he also has good grappling and athleticism, making him a well-rounded fighter. On top of that, he praised Ngannou's mental toughness and his ability to bounce back from losses. He can take losses and still come back stronger. And that shows his determination and drive as a fighter. Blaydes expressed his utmost respect for Ngannou as a competitor and credited him for his impressive performances in the octagon. Ngannou's combination of power, athleticism, and skills make him one of the top heavyweights in the sport. Top 3. Michael Bisping. Bisping is a man who has truly been a warrior in the octagon and he is legit while describing fighters. Michael Bisping believes that Francis Ngannou is the Mike Tyson of this new era. His movements and strong punches are very much capable of dropping any strong-chinned fighter. As he says, "We haven't seen someone like this since Mike Tyson." Bisping further praises Ngannou's brutality by saying, "He is going to be known as truly the baddest man on the planet." The Count also believes Ngannou's story is really inspiring. Right there in Ghana 10 years ago, a man was working in the sand who made it to the UFC. He further says that Ngannou has work in the sand quarry makes him stronger and that labor work has helped him in creating the extra strength in him, which is why his punches hit like a truck. If you want to learn more about Ngannou's past as a homeless person on the streets of France, make sure to check out our latest video on our channel. Top 2. Daniel Cormier. DC is happy that he hung his boots before he got to face Francis Ngannou, as he considers Francis Ngannou the hardest hitter in the history of MMA. After Brock Lesnar, he's the guy who has all it takes to be the best ever, and has achieved so much at the start of his career. He became the champion in 11 fights, and before becoming the champion, he defeated some big names who are ex-heavyweight champions in the UFC. Top 1. Kamaru Usman. Kamaru and Francis have trained together, and the Nigerian Nightmare understands the otherworldly power Ngannou possesses. It's not easy to fight against a monster like Ngannou in the octagon, because the guy is big. He picked up Shaq O'Neal as if he was nothing. Kamaru said, "Now Francis Ngannou is a tall, full glass of milk for anybody to drink. His height gives him extra reach to take fighters down." Talking to Joe Rogan, the Nigerian Nightmare said that he believes that fighters would take Francis down in the heavyweight division, but that's the scariest heavyweight we've ever seen. Kamaru further talks about his speed. "I think he is faster than me. Coming from a welterweight fighter is crazy. There is no way on earth a heavyweight fighter could hit faster than a welterweight." Joe Rogan seconded that and said Francis Ngannou is the perfect heavyweight ever. In the entire podcast, Ngannou's boxing was praised. Many are going to miss seeing Francis fighting in the UFC again. That is because, according to Dana White, he wants to make money and fight big promotional fights which the UFC couldn't grant him. Nobody denies how good and fast he is with his hands, and that is why there is a good chance that we might see him in a squared ring against a legend who needs no further introduction, the legendary Gypsy King Tyson Fury. It is a shame that Francis Ngannou's UFC career has ended and the legendary fight between Jon Jones and Ngannou will no longer take place, at least for now. Nonetheless, we may see Francis Ngannou going against the GOAT of boxing, Tyson Fury. Do you think Francis is going to put Fury down in a boxing match? Or is Fury going to prove that MMA is going to lose in a professional boxing match? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you're enjoying our content and want to see more, be sure to leave a like before subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.